All right, all right. Let me see. Let me see. Turn that down right quick. As always, I appreciate the people tuning in live over at Kick, over at YouTube, especially since we're doing new music reviews. We're up on Wisdom. I appreciate my people over at Wisdom tuning in. And as always, to clarify the differences, Kick and YouTube is the video element along with the audio. Wisdom is just only audio. Think of it like Twitter Spaces, I think it's what it's called. Anyways, if you want to join in as a guest, then click my Linktree in my bio as the link to downloading the Wisdom app. So if you want to join in as a guest on Wisdom, you could end up on the podcast. So with that being said, just want to let y'all know the differences. And with that, let's get into new music that just dropped, because out of the blue, Brent Faiyaz just dropped the album. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty excited to get into it. So obviously I haven't listened to it yet, but we're going to be covering just the overall details of that album. So for right now, the people in the title, with the artists in the title, I saved to last. So we're going to get into a variety of different artists, honestly. Let's start with 42 Doug, The Kid Laroi, NLE Choppa, and Rima. I think that's how you say it, Rima. Did y'all know that 42 Doug is actually like super short? Like, I wonder if 42 stands for like 4'2", like, because he's very small. Like, he's like a toddler. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, he's really small. But hey, at the end of the day, unfortunate, but these rappers don't fight, they shoot people. So I guess that's how it don't matter. Yeah, it's just pretty yeah. That's how I can clarify that. Okay, let me see right quick. Okay. All right, yeah, let's get into these three artists. Let's start with NLE and then get into 42. NLE Choppa is interesting because it's like, I don't know, the stuff that you see about NLE Choppa is it's a lot of different happenings with his marketing. Like the BBL pill, I think is one of the most scamish tactics we've seen from a rapper. I ain't gonna lie to you. But we're gonna get into his album. I think he dropped a full album. Let me see. Yeah, so he dropped a 2-hour and 4-minute project. Goodness. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. We ain't listening to all that, but I will cover it. That is actually ridiculous. That's pretty crazy. Let's just go to his Instagram, since it seems like he ain't really put too much thought in the promotion. Like, why did he release that much music? All right. It's not gonna be too much with NLE Choppa. I think I'm pretty sure NLE Choppa. I don't know if I should have said charting or what. Just start again. All right, let's just try Billboard. Honestly, don't know if he makes any collaborated, which would be on Fast X. It was back in May. Yeah, this man hasn't been making any noise. Well, all right. Well, with that being said, let's get into it. I got to figure out how to go live on TikTok because, I think I have around I forgot, but like 4 to 5 thousand followers on TikTok. So I have to figure out how to go live on that without it blowing up my laptop. And by blowing up, I mean like literally blowing up. Like last time I downloaded the TikTok live tools or whatever, it was not good. So that being said, let's get into NLE Choppa. This reminds me of when your significant other sends a huge paragraph trying to get the point across that you did something wrong, right? And after the fact, you look at that full length paragraph looking like a Times New Roman 12 size font depiction of the feelings, and you simply say, I'm sorry for your loss or congratulations, because I'm not reading all that. That's exactly how I feel about this NLE Choppa album. Now, I know people saying it's Deluxe 2.0, but I don't know about y'all. But I didn't listen to the original NLE Choppa album, Cottonwood 2. Now, at first you may think that's hating, but after listening to the track with NLE Choppa and Lil Wayne, which I believe is on this album, I don't see it on this album. Anyways, there was a track with NLE Choppa and Lil Wayne, and ever since then, all of the tracks are either leaps and bounds below the quality of that specific track, or you end up getting a track that samples Nelly's Hot in Here, and it comes out being one of the worst attempts to recreate a classic I've ever seen in hip hop history. So with that being said, the track from NLE Choppa and Lil Wayne is probably the only track that I've enjoyed this year. Now, I don't know if it actually came out this year, but that's where I'm at with the artist NLE Choppa. For this segment, the purpose of this is basically to let you know that he does have an album out. So if you do feel like indulging on 2 hours and 4 minutes, let me repeat that, 2 hours and 4 minutes, 40 songs in total of NLE Choppa over a beat sounding the same on every single track. If you enjoy that, then to each his own, because I'm not going to be enjoying it with you. I'm literally just covering this to let you know that NLE Choppa currently has a new album out. And by new album, obviously it's a deluxe, but with 40 songs at this point, I don't know what what the original songs are from the actual editions. So it just seems like 2 new albums, because this is pretty insane. 40 songs, I don't care what deluxe it is. It's just too much. If I see a project with 40 songs, I'm not listening to any of them. That's just how my mind works. Unless you're Chris Brown or Michael Jackson himself, I'm not listening to 40 songs on one project. So with that being said, the overview of NLE Choppa is simply that obviously he still has a fan base, 18.6 monthly listeners on Spotify specifically. I don't know what it is on Apple Music, but when it comes to charting, which is, as I call myself analytic Dreamz, so I love to get into the numbers, but seems like he hasn't really made noise since May, which he was attached to the soundtrack for Fast X. Yeah, so he was on the track Angel Part 1, and that was for the soundtrack for Fast X, and that seems to be the last time I've seen any type of correlation with NLE Choppa and Billboard. And with that information, I don't know what to tell you. So if these 40 songs don't help him get higher on Billboard charts, then I don't know what will, because that man is literally throwing content at a wall and seeing what sticks. And for his fans, I wonder if or how they feel about this much content on one particular project. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Cottonwood 2, the deluxe, and all 40 songs and 2 hours and 4 minutes of content? And do you believe that you can get through a whole listening session of Cottonwood 2 Deluxe Edition? Okay. I think next I'm gonna get into 42 Doug. Let me see. I wonder what's going on over at Wisdom. Cause it seems like I'm live, but I don't know. Oh, that's weird. Hold up. Let me try this one more time. Your Wisdom tripping on me. Man's out here just trying to multi-stream in peace, you know what I'm saying? All right. I mean, it is 1 in the morning, but still, usually it doesn't trip out like this. Okay, we're gonna try that one more time. Uh, Nelly Chopper, we finished with that. Let's get into 42 Doug. I think I'm gonna have to start with this man's height because this is ridiculous. Like, I did not know that he was this short. It's actually respectable. It's like, dang. It's like he really he really is 4'2" out here. No, I'm just playing. All right, let me pull this closer. Let's see. I got that. And then spring. Let's do this one. Why do articles ask me to subscribe to listen to the or to read the article? Do they not know that 12-foot 12-foot IO exists? That's crazy. Guess not. All right. Let me go to his Instagram account. And then we're gonna look up his height because it's very important information. 42 Doug. So many G's in his Instagram tag. That's crazy. Those G's definitely don't move in silence. I'll let myself out. All right, the only young intern. Let me see. Let's pause it right there. Oh, look at Meek Mill in the comment section. You love support. Look at that. All right, pull this up right quick. Okay, yeah, I should be able to see it now. Let's get into 42 Doug. As soon as I pull up. Talk about a first day out track, as this freestyle is not in the format of a hit song by any stretch of the imagination, but because 42 Doug was just released from prison after serving 6 months behind bars, this type of freestyle after coming out of prison will probably be respected by not only the streets, what they say, the streets, but also 42 Doug fans, as he's given us more content than we expected coming this early with him coming out of prison. Like, he just got out of prison, and then like days after, he put out this track titled Go Again on October 23rd. So it's produced by Forever Rolling and Good Boy De Niro. And obviously it just showcases 42 Doug's lyrical ability. And I say that with all due respect, he's not a lyricist, but he's trying his best on this freestyle, right? And then the music video is directed by Diesel Films, featuring a meetup and scenes of 42 Doug in the strip club, counting money and surrounded by luxury bags. boy, did they cover the bases on the hip hop trilogy of topics. 42 Doug's last solo mixtape was Free Them Boys, featuring collaborations from artists like Roddy Ricch, Future, and Lil Durk. And if you pay attention to his latest post saying that his track Go Again is out now, you can see none other than Meek Mandela in the comment section saying, and we still in town. So you love to see the camaraderie between artists, because with the way that 42 Doug is positioned, right? Pause. He's signed to Interscope Records. So that means that he's obviously going to have major label support, and also being signed to Yo Gotti with CMG. You know that somebody's going to put money behind the marketing dollars. So with his last solo mixtape, quote unquote mixtape, having features like Roddy, Future, and Lil Durk, you can only imagine what type of features he's going to have on his next album in continuation of him coming out of prison, because that project will be very anticipated. So this right here with Meek Mill in the comment section, I believe, is him trying to shoot his shot to end up being on the album. But one thing I did want to know, and I didn't look this up beforehand. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. I had to look this up because this is very interesting. Like, I know this man's name is 42 Doug, right? But nobody told me that this man was actually 4'2". Like, the height scale for the rise is beyond his limit and his capacity. You know the meme, we don't have the capacity? That's what 42 Doug says to himself every single time he walks up to a ride in the county fair. Now, with that being said, obviously, these rappers are sometimes allegedly non-law abiding citizens. So I do want to watch what I say as far as words and being used effectively in sentences. I don't want to have aggressive tactics be used towards me, because I am a truth teller, meaning I will call the police. With that being said, 42 Doug, super short. Can't believe that he's actually a toddler. Like, the height is very abrasive as how short he is. Like, we thought Kai Cenat was short. We thought Lil Wayne was short. We even thought Uzi was short. 42 Doug blows them all out of the water. I mean, he makes them look like Victor Wembanyama, the way that he's literally 4'2". Now, I know somebody's going to come and be a well actually type beat and be like, you know what? He's actually 5'1". And with that, I'm just going to leave you with that information, because if you're trying to correct me by saying 4'2", and he's actually 5'1", then hey, you made my point for me. So anyways, putting all that to the side, the track Go Again is pretty solid. I've really enjoyed the freestyle type track. Not something I'll listen to over and over again, but it's a nice display of his lyricism and his ability to rap. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about 42 Doug coming out of jail and going straight to the booth? And are you as surprised as I am about this man being super short and may be the shortest rapper to ever grace a mic? All right. I don't know why I make myself laugh. That's kind of crazy. Let me see. Okay, let's get into. Should we do Rima or the Killer Roy first? I already made up my mind. Let's do Rima. The Killer Roy. What just happened? So fine to so different. Let's just do this one. I probably can look up Billboard stats for the Killer Roy, because he actually puts up numbers. It's hard to look up numbers for people who don't put up numbers, and it's not a bar. It's just facts. So the Killer Roy probably has a couple slaps, especially the one with Junk Cook. That one's insane. Let me see. My new album. I'm about to say it's definitely not out. It says November 10th. Okay. Why he worded it like it was out? He said my new album first time is out, and then he put November 10th. Nah, bro. You got to switch those. Your fans just gonna get upset. I mean, obviously reading comprehension, has to be at a certain level, but for most fans, that's just too confusing. What's I looking at? Oh, alrighty. Let me see. I'm probably gonna make this point during the segment that the Kid Laroi makes his music, um, not word for word, but sonically, it's exactly the same as Post Malone. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Like the way that he sings and his voice like vibrates, I don't know what to call that. Like I don't know if that's reverb in real life. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I'm gonna try to explain it during the segment. It really did throw me off. I'm like, dang, because I know they have a track together. I think it was on his latest album or whatever. So it was one of them. But this man took his whole flow, word for word, bar for bar. All right, let's get into the Kid Laroi. Oh, I did say I was gonna look up some stats. I know he's putting up numbers. Making a track with Jungkook is like an automatic like point on the charts at this point. The Kid Laroi Billboard. And when you're looky there, all type of stuff pops up. That's crazy. Hey man, NLE Choppa and what's the other dude's name? Kodak Black. They'll figure it out at some point. Some point. All right. I wonder if I look up charts so it can be more specific. Yeah, that's too specific. Let's make it broader. All right, let's get into the Kid Laroi. I'm trying to see where it's at. After making waves with the one and only Justin Bieber, Bieber Valley, The Great White Hope, and that track becoming a number one hit on Billboard Global 200, this year he came back again with accompanying himself with Jungkook and Central C for the track Too Much, which also topped the charts. So I bring up those two tracks to say the Kid Laroi is no stranger to certain music impacting the charts in a way that is lasting. So for this new track for the Kid Laroi titled What Just Happened, which is solely himself, I would find it interesting to see the performance on the charts. I know it's not all about numbers, and sometimes you just want to put out quality, whether it sells or not. But once you sign to a major label, which the Kid Laroi is under Columbia Records, a division of Sony Music Entertainment, then you get to the point where major label needs to recoup. They give you a front, and then they expect to make that back at some point in time. With the Kid Laroi, I don't think they're as concerned, but I do believe that the Kid Laroi has to come with something that will stick to the charts solely by himself. Not trying to say he's not one of those type of artists who could produce a hit, but he's been accompanied to other musicians, more notable musicians, for his biggest Billboard hits for the past 2 to 3 years. With that being said, let's get into the reason that I even want to cover the Kid Laroi, because personally, I really enjoy the Kid Laroi's music. I like the direction he goes. I like the variety, the singing, I don't know how often he raps, but basically the crooning is what I say for people who sing but can't sing. That's what I call it. So there's a particular thing he does with his voice where he will sing and then he will express or elongate a certain cadence, and then it will start like maybe vibrating isn't the right term, but it's very Post Malone esque. That's essentially what I'm getting at. The Kid Laroi and Post Malone had a track together on Post Malone's album And I'm wondering if he took some advice from Post Malone, it started to work with its own cadence. Because the only time I've heard that with the musician stringing out a tone with a vibrating type effect is Post Malone. Now, if you don't listen to Post Malone, if you don't listen to the Kid Laroi, you probably don't understand what in the world I'm talking about. But for the people who listen to both, I just wanted to bring that up because I'm a huge fan of both Post Malone and the Kid Laroi. But I started to notice the similarities between the way they vibrate when they hold certain tones or certain notes, right? All you need to know for this segment is the Kid Laroi released a new single titled What Just Happened. This song is a fan favorite, of course, because he's been performing it on tour. And in the song, Kid Laroi reflects on a night under the influence and a heated argument with his girlfriend. Don't you love those type of tracks? I mean, if Juice WRLD didn't do it the best, then I don't know who did. Bringing his name up specifically because, of course, the Kid Laroi came off of a co-sign from Juice WRLD. If you don't know, when Juice WRLD was in his prime, the Kid Laroi was right next to him, kind of. I'm not gonna say leeching because I think he's very talented, but just incorporating himself in certain tracks with the Juice WRLD and just learning from his studio habits. It's kind of like Drake and Lil Yachty, like the type of dynamic that the Kid Laroi and Juice WRLD had is very understated, and I feel like that needs to be highlighted because his success, I think, is also a compliment to Juice WRLD's ability to spot talent and accompany himself with it. So with that being said, the music video, there is a music video for this track, features Kid Laroi and his friends in the woods experiencing distorted images and hallucinations. Hey, don't do drugs, kids. And then also the Kid Laroi's debut album, which this, if you don't take anything from the segment, definitely remember this fact. The Kid Laroi's debut album, well, they're saying debut, is really just, hold up. I hate when they say debut because that really makes no sense. Like if you go to he literally has an album titled F Love Is Over You that came out in 2021 under Columbia Records, a division of Sony. But obviously, they're going to say his debut, which is just incorrect. So with that being said, his second album, The First Time, is set to be released on November 10th via Columbia Records. So for all my Kid Laroi fans out there, not too long left to wait before we get our next full-length Kid Laroi project. With that being said, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about his latest track, his latest single titled What Just Happened? And do you think there's similarities with the way that the Kid Laroi and Post Malone makes music? I'm wondering how he got his wig like that. I'm kind of hating. I'm not even gonna say wig. That's kind of messed up. I've realized a lot of these musicians are putting hair extensions in their head. Did y'all know that? For all my bald people out there, I mean, I'm not bald, but you know, I was at one point. For all my bald people out there, just know it's never over, man. It's never over. If Drake can put hair extensions in his hair and make cornrows, then you can too. So obviously, you probably need like a couple inches of hair to do that, but that's besides the point. Let me see. What was next? Oh, Rima. Okay, so let's get into Rima. I don't think anybody's talking about Rima. That's tough. Isn't this the Afrobeat artist? Produced by London. London on the track. Nigerian singer and songwriter. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was a girl at first. Okay. Pretty sure he had hits. Is that the guy who had that award with Selena Gomez? Let me see. Rima. Oh yeah, he is. He's the guy who single-handedly gave Selena Gomez her first ever top Afrobeat award. The VMA first Afrobeat award ever, and it goes to Selena Gomez. I ain't never gonna forget that. That's actually hilarious. That's crazy. All right, so let's get into Rima. Also, shout out to my people over at Wisdom. I see some people coming in. I appreciate you for tuning in live, and just know we're getting into a lot of new music, and we will get into the artist and the title last. So for right now, we're just covering other new music that just came out. And if you're new, just know the segments are going to be put up after the fact on my podcast, Notorious Mass Effect, via my Linktree and bio, or you could just look up Notorious Mass Effect on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, as that's where all of these reviews are going to go. This is just a live rendition. That's why we have little breaks and stuff between the reviews. With that being said, let's get back into it. I would never, ever forgive Rima for the simple fact that he is the sole reason Selena Gomez has the first ever Afrobeat award at the VMAs. Let that sink in. But all jokes aside, right? He has a new track out titled Don't Leave. Now, do I really hold that against Rima? Of course not, because if he's a talented artist, then he deserves every award. But what I will say is that him having 7 nominations at the 2023 Billboard Music Awards is very interesting, because all the Burna Boy fans out there in the world was saying that he got snubbed when Rima won the top Afrobeat artist award. At this point, looking from a number standpoint, this man Rima really does put up numbers and may put up more numbers than Burna Boy. Now hear me out. Obviously, we know Burna Boy puts up numbers, so I'm not insinuating that he doesn't sell or he's not putting up numbers or he's falling off. I'm just saying that, forget Wizkid, right, who I think is by far the best Afrobeat artist. Rima has a humongous case to be the second best, if it's not Tim's. So I just named 3 artists, and I'm not pitting them against each other. I'm just bringing up some narratives on my podcast and just like kind of rebutting them or giving my rebuttal, because I hear a lot of Burna Boy fans say he's just by far the biggest Afrobeat artist, and then looking at the numbers, looking at the talent level, obviously Burna Boy is a hugely talented artist, but when it comes to Wizkid, Tim's, I don't know if he's really messing with them like some Burna Boy fans say he is. Now incorporate Rima, who's also putting up numbers like a superstar, and got awards like a superstar, has superstar icons attaching their names to him in Selena Gomez. That's why I joke about her getting the first Afrobeat award ever at the VMAs, of course. At this point in time, he's impacting the charts, he's impacting culture in a way that I don't think is highlighted enough when it comes to Afrobeat music. Obviously, we talk about a Wizkid, we talk about Tim's. There's a plethora of other artists. I just can't think of them. Burna Boy is the one I was sticking to because this was the year for him to take over. It's kind of like when we thought Little Baby, when he put out Bigger Than Me, or It's Only Me. That's what the album was titled. Back in 2020, like at the start of COVID, right? And then he put out the track where it was like the George Floyd track. I forget what it was exactly called, but let me see if I can find that, because I'm making a point with Rima. Okay, so no, it's My Turn. So back when Little Baby put out My Turn in 2020, and then he came with the deluxe track. If I can even find it, goodness. Oh, The Bigger Picture. There we go. Yeah, it's right at the end of the My Turn album. Once he came out with My Turn, everybody was like, okay, because this is a Kendrick Lamar-esque track in My Turn, in a moment in time where it could have been more perfect, if that's even the way you phrase it, to put out a Black Lives Matter type track. The reason why I'm saying that is because obviously, fast forward to 2023, people are looking at Little Baby like he fell off. Now, is Burna Boy having that same effect from the past year or two? Because he's been hyped up to a level to where he put out his album. Let's call it what it is. It came, it went, and now Rima, not the person who just put out an album this year, but Rima from a song is cleaning up the awards in the Afrobeat category instead of Burna Boy, who we all thought was going to be the GOAT when it came to this type of music being consumed. So that's my case. I was looking at the numbers, I was looking at the quality, the talent level. Rima's insanely talented. You listen to his track, listen to this latest track, Don't Leave, off his EP Ravage. Oh, that also, he does have an EP out. So Ravage is the EP. This is the track. Well, where's it at? Don't Leave is the track that they're promoting from the EP. So listen to Don't Leave, listen to the EP in its entirety, and you will just realize the Afrobeat field is way more competitive than, let's just say, a certain fan base gives credit. So with that being said, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. Are you planning on listening to Rima's latest EP titled Ravage? And if you do listen to it, what was your favorite track off of the EP? All right. Uh let me see. Let me see. Let's get into NBA YoungBoy, Kodak Black, David Guetta, and then Jorna Lucas. All right, that works. I wonder if y'all saw that game with the Lakers versus the Suns. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. People are condemning the Lakers for it being a close game, but KD has liked it. It's like, I mean, it's not like the Suns are trash without Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. They acting like they're the only three good players on the team. It'd be different if it was like the Mavericks, and like if the Mavericks played the Lakers and Luka sat out, it'd be different. But like, it's still KD in one game. Like, one game against KD is still tough. I don't care how you slice it. So then he had Nurkic. He had I think I saw Eric Gordon out there. I didn't even know he was on the Suns. I was like, what in the world? When they get him? So I think a lot of people are. I mean, the slander towards AD is definitely warranted. Like, 0 points in the second half for the first game of the season against Denver. After you've been openly saying like they've been talking mess, like, that's just, at that point, I just don't think you like basketball anymore. Like, you must have just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, because the way that Anthony Davis put up 0 points, you would have thought he had a vendetta against LeBron himself. That was ridiculous. Anyways, I think the Lakers will be all right. The Western Conference is just really loaded. Like, you want to talk about talent? Western Conference by far has the best talent when it comes to just every position. I mean, you have Booker in the West, Kyrie in the West, KD in the West, LeBron in the West. That should go without saying, but come on now. Luka in the West, like, and I ain't even named Steph Curry. Like, like, who the East got? Jason Tatum, Giannis. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't know. That was my side tangent basketball take. Let me pull up NBA YoungBoy. I think I'm ready for this one. And then Adam Silver is talking about going to the West and Eastern format again. I mean, I get it, but dang, like, we should just do the top. We should literally just do the top 15. Is it 15? Top 30 players. I think it's 30. Is it 15? I don't know how many. They be 2, 4, 6, 8. I think it's 8 or 9 players they be choosing. I don't know. I forget. But basically, it should be like the top players in the league, not the top players from the East and top players from the West. It makes no sense because so many great players in the Western Conference. Like, imagine the guard position in the West. Like, you got Steph, you have Devin Booker, and then you're gonna have to leave somebody off. But in the East, it's like, man, we may mess around and have Tyrese Maxey starting for the Eastern point guards. I was like, what in the world? By the way, that man just dropped 30 plus, so that's the only reason I said that. I don't really think he has a case. But yeah, basically, I say all that to say the Western Conference is just much more advanced than the Eastern, and so LeBron, man, talk about being 39 and still having to carry the load. That's ridiculous. Like, it was a joke 2 to 3 years ago, and this came to reality. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? All right. I don't think NBA YoungBoy impacts the charts like that. Let me see. NBA YoungBoy Billboard. Yeah, last time was with Tyler the Creator. No, it wasn't. It was with Let's Do It in May. Okay. We could talk about that one. Interesting. Apparently, NBA YoungBoy is the only hip hop artist to chart songs on Billboard Top 100. I can't talk. And have 0 radio play. Interesting. What track are they talking about? Ah, F the Industry. That's fire. That's actually fire. And Let's Do It. All right, yeah, let's focus on that. Okay. Decided November 10th. Oh, he's putting out an album. That's what that is, I think. All right, that's fire. All right, let's get into why be better. And yeah. Okay, here we go. Did y'all know NBA YoungBoy is the only hip hop artist to chart on the Hot 100 and have 0 radio play? Honestly, that's kind of crazy. This man is only 24 years old, right? Sold over 80 million records worldwide, 4 Billboard Hot 200 #1 albums, and 1 Billboard Hot 100 Top 10. I'm throwing all these stats at you because the way that NBA navigates the industry is very counterproductive. The enemies that he's made, the enemies he's made because of the enemies he's made, which is very confusing, I know. But basically, him being on the opposite side of Little Durk, whereas in consequence has him on the opposite side of Drake, really is hurtful in his overall career. Because everybody knows if there's a superstar out there that will co-sign you, it's a Drake. Now, J. Cole tried to co-sign YoungBoy, but then everybody knows what happened. Showed up to the studio. I mean, obviously J. Cole, or I forget NBA Young. I think it was J. Cole said the story didn't happen, but it was literally like producers there saying that J. Cole was waiting for NBA YoungBoy to come lay a verse and ended up leaving because, you know, apparently he wasn't in his right mental state. Basically, I'm thinking he was either drunk or high. So that's how the story went down. So ever since then, you see Drake co-signing the likes of a Little Baby, a Little Durk for last year and the year before last year. No. What's the year? For 2021 and 2020, he was co-signing Little Baby and Little Durk. For 2022, he was co-signing 21 Savage. For this year, and a little bit of last year, he's co-signing Little Yachty heavily. He is known to put his arm around young artists and boost their overall career. For NBA YoungBoy, he's pitted himself against so many prominent figures in the music industry that now He's literally on he's on his own, which is why one of his tracks, one of his most popular tracks, not most popular, but one of the more prominent tracks that he's released is F the Industry. Because guess what? His fans resonated with it because who in the world is co-signing Youngboy right now? Like, think about it. Even with Kodak Black, Kodak had a humongous co-sign by Kendrick and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. If y'all don't think that's a co-sign, then I don't know what to tell you, right? Youngboy is the only artist in the younger generation to not have that big three put their arm around him and try to try to rise or raise his career to the next level. Keep in mind, this man Youngboy is under Universal Music Group Recordings, which makes all the sense in the world. If you don't know, UMG is the big dog in the music industry as far as a major label goes. Drake is signed to UMG, makes all the sense in the world for them to collab. But it hasn't happened because, of course, his beef with Lil Durk. Now, this whole segment was just to let you know that even after all that, Youngboy is still thriving on the charts when it comes to him putting out music, simply because his fan base is so supportive when it comes to streaming. That's very important, streaming. Drake is the most streamed artist on planet Earth, but he still doesn't outsell Taylor Swift and a Bad Bunny first week sales wise. But why? Is because Taylor Swift fans, Bad Bunny fans will go out and purchase vinyls, albums. Drake fans will just straight up stream. I mean, obviously some buy his CDs, but for the most part, not for the most part, I mean, statistically proven, he's the most streamed artist of 2023. So even Morgan Wallen is not messing with Drake when it comes to streams. And I find that very interesting because that means your fan base is willing to listen to your music, but may not be willing to come out of their own currency, because you never know where they are in the world, to purchase your music, which is a very interesting situation to be in. Because would you rather the support via buying your music or the streams? Because it seems like you can't have both. I mean, obviously you can. I mean, Taylor Swift streams as well, but I'm just putting it in perspective. It seems like for NBA Youngboy and Drake fan base is either one or the other, and the one that they chose is streaming. So I basically bring that up to let you know that Deep Down is the latest track from NBA Youngboy for his upcoming album Decided To. I think it's Decided To because the way it's worded. And the album is set to come out November 10th. So that is huge news. If you don't take anything away from this segment, just know that NBA Youngboy is putting out an album titled Decided To on November 10th. And that will be a day of reckoning because the YB fandom will start to get in every hip hop blogger's comment section to let y'all know which artist they think is better. So with that being said, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. How big do you think Youngboy would be if he wasn't beefing with the entire industry? And which artist would you pick to put their arm around Youngboy to elevate his career? All right. I guess I can get on another NBA tangent while I pull up this next topic. Did y'all see Damian Lillard on the Bucks? Let me tell y'all something. That's a match made in heaven. I don't care what nobody say. Damian Lillard and Giannis couldn't have been a more perfect match of mentality. I think Damian Lillard and Giannis is what LeBron thought he was getting with AD. Somebody who could match his mentality and physicality and numbers on a night-to-night basis. Bucks is going to be something special. If Giannis can win a championship with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, I mean, no disrespect, they fantastic players, but they're no Damian Lillard. Then, if it wasn't for the Nuggets, who I still think is a super team, I would just say it's a wrap for the Bucks to get another ring. I know a lot of people don't really look at the Nuggets like a super team, but if you know how Michael Porter was dominating the AAU scene all the way up into the pro scene and still dominating, Aaron Gordon, who's just a freak of nature, won a dunk contest and is actually a solid player. Um, who else? Not even to mention Jamal Murray. I mean, people. It seems like people only want to talk about Jamal Murray when it's regarding that video. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, good for you. And then who else? There's somebody else. And then Caldwell Pope, who was literally on the Lakers for the 2020 championship run, which I think is one of the best teams in the past 4 to 5 years. I think that Lakers team, like bubble or not, they was just gonna win the championship. They was loaded. Like the reason why they can't mess with Jokic right now is I think they don't have JaVale or Dwight Howard. I think that matchup along with Anthony Davis was just too much for Jokic to handle as far as like passing lanes and stuff. But hey man, what do I know, man? What do I know? But yeah, we're gonna get into Jordan Lucas. Nobody's really talking about Jordan Lucas. Kind of hurts my soul. I'm like, dang. Imagine putting out good music and nobody talks about you. I'm gonna talk about him though. Like, at least he has me. All right. He's completely independent. No wonder nobody's talking about him. That's crazy. That is very interesting. Yeah, now you go independent, they start making up some stories about you. Y'all see what's happening to Young Blue? I'm telling you, bro, the major labels, they don't like the independence. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but if Drake ever went independent, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, they don't play around with that. They do not play around with that. All right. This man's smoking. I wonder if that's. If I pause it, I think I'll be all right. All right. Let's get into Mr. Lucas. And I don't think I'd be able to look up anything Billboard regarding him because being independent, it don't seem like this man's gonna have too many entries, which is okay. Lucas Billboard. I look up Billboard. You don't pull up stuff until you get to 2018. That's crazy. That's wild. How long has this man been independent? His last album, Evolution, that was independent. That was 2020. ADHD, that was independent. That was 2020. Whatever this number is, that wasn't independent. That was with Atlantic. Interesting. So he's been independent since 2018. Interesting. I wonder if he had features. Young Thug, Chris Brown, Timbaland. The Game. Oh yeah, he's starting to feel it now. He's not really getting the features like that. Nah, cause he had Future on this one. He had Future on one of these, right? Well, Future would do a collab with anybody, but then he had Young Boy. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. We'll try to figure out his first week sales. I think that's gonna help me. Evolution. First week sales. Goodness. 13,000. My boy out here struggling. Um let's see. ADHD first week sales. Not projections. We should have the sales by now, my boy. Okay, 39,000. That's respectable. Was that 2020? Okay. All right, let's just go off his last two albums because I guess I should compare it to his album with the number, but I don't even know what that means. My goodness. 508. I feel like I'm not doxing anybody. I don't even know what this number is. This can't be his number. It's probably some like mental health type number because it looks like he's pretty stressed in that picture. Oh my goodness. 39,000 first week being an independent artist is pretty solid. I'm gonna see if I can go to 27. Oh, I can't. That's it. They wasn't even reporting on that number. Okay, cool. Before I get into the latest single by Jordan Luch, okay, that's not it. I can't just start off messing up his name. So let's delete that. Let's see where this at. Alrighty. All right, take two. Stephen A will not be proud, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's run it back. Before we get into the latest release by Jordan Lucas, I want to point out something because I just found this out. This man, Jordan Lucas, has been independent since 2018 because in 2017, he was under Atlantic Recording Corporation for the United States and WEA International Inc. I don't know what that means, but that's besides my point that I'm making. His past two albums, ADHD, sold 39,000 first week with him being completely independent. I don't know about y'all, but that's a humongous W. Anything between the range of 20 and above for an independent artist, I think is pretty solid and shows that you have a fan base. Because if you aren't familiar with how major labels work, they start to put dollars behind marketing budgets where your overall numbers are to be padded. You know when they say stat padding in the NBA, when they talk about how Andre Drummond or any of these other big men in the league be missing layups on purpose to pad their rebound category. That's specifically what major labels do when it comes to numbers and first week sales. Now, if you're under a major label, they make sure to buy a certain amount of copies. And I have to say allegedly because I don't know if they could sue me for that. Anyways, I think everybody knows at this point. I mean, payola is just a huge thing in the industry, but it's like the worst kept secret. So basically, you come to a major label, they give you advance, right? They put dollars behind a marketing budget to make you seem bigger than you actually are. Obviously, you have to have fans that's already coming to the table, or else the fake marketing doesn't make any sense. So you pair the fake streams combined with your real audience, and then you get your overall first week sales. That's why anything under 80 to 60,000 for a major label artist is usually considered a flop. With that being said, Jordan Lucas is completely independent, sold 39,000 with ADHD, which, if you don't remember, had a bunch of what I would call classics. I mean, he had Will, he had Broken Stupid, he had Devil's Work, he had. I know a lot of people kill Logic, but which is ironic, right? But ISIS with Jordan Lucas and Logic did particularly well when it came to numbers. So with that being said, everybody loved ADHD. I did, and a lot of Jordan Lucas fans did as well. Now, Evolution is the follow-up to that in the same year, so that didn't sell as well. And so people may look at his latest first week sales and think he fell off with Evolution selling 13,000. But think about this. That album came out October 23rd, 2020, right? ADHD came out March 27th, 2020. Hold up. Yeah, October 23rd, 2020. And ADHD came out March 27th, 2020. So in the same year, he released two projects. The first one being ADHD, which sold 39,000 first week, almost 40,000, of course. And then his next one in the same year, Evolution, sold 13,000 first week. I think he just realized that no matter the quality of his music, because I believe Jordan Lucas consistently puts out quality music. And now we know that he puts out consistently quality body of work. Well, bodies of work. So with that being said, he just realized that he has to take time to build up the first week sales. And I think he's doing that with this particular album. This rollout, unlike Evolution that came after ADHD, is very similar to ADHD. He's releasing a bunch of singles to ultimately put out the entire body of work, which I think is a very prominent marketing strategy because it already is a tested and proven strategy when it comes to his first week sales regarding ADHD with 39,000 first week. So now you replicate that marketing strategy with, I don't know what this album's going to be titled, honestly. Anyways, but whatever this album's going to be titled, we already had tracks like Blackout with Future, which a lot of people was like, man, did you hear that verse from Future? We already had Cut You Off with NBA Youngboy. So imagine being an independent artist and having the likes of a Future and a Youngboy helping you out en route to you releasing your entire body of work. It's probably going to work out when it comes to sales. And I don't know about charting, probably not charting, but when it comes to sales, it's probably going to work out. So I'm predicting a 30 to 40,000 range as far as first week sales for Jordan Lucas. And I do believe that his fan base has been keeping him afloat and his talent has been keeping him afloat because these tracks are phenomenal. I mean, Blackout, Cut You Off, 17. I mean, he literally has a track titled Devil's Work 2, which kind of plays off my previous explanation that I think he's replicating the rollout strategy, the marketing tactic for ADHD. So obviously Devil's Work Part 2 didn't do as well as Part 1 because, you know, it's not really it's not really something you can do twice. After that, it's like, dang. I mean, Devil be talking every day, don't he? No, all right. So, anyways, that's it for Jordan Lucas coverage. Because this track titled "24 Hours to Live" is just something I wanted to touch on. Pause, because I believe that Jordan Lucas is one of the more talented artists in the music industry, and not a lot of people put a highlight or a spotlight on him simply for the fact that he's independent. And when you're independent, they start to act like you don't exist. So I just wanted to talk about this track, talk about the overall marketing strategy that I believe that Jordan Lucas is rolling out. And at the end of the day, it's up to y'all whether the marketing strategy is going to work for a second time or not. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Jordan Lucas mimicking the rollout compared to how he did for ADHD? And regarding the singles that he's already put out, there's been a plethora, like several. Which one is your favorite? All right. Shout out to my people over at Kicking YouTube, still rocking with me. I appreciate you tuning in live. As always, you can catch this after the fact on my podcast, Notorious Mass Effect. This is just a live rendition in case y'all want to type or join in via Wisdom. Just like the extra accessibility version, I would say. Okay. Who's dang, hold up. There we go. Kodak Black. This boy Kodak Black put out a singing song. You love to see it. That boy was singing his heart out, knowing he can't sing, but it's whatever. We gonna let him live because of Kodak. You know, he'll kill you, literally. So you know what I mean? You gotta be careful with non-law abiding citizens. It's not really the move out here. Kodak Black. There's a Kodak and there's a Kodak Black. I wonder which one's the right one. You just put up an address? How much money is he getting? Nah, Kodak Black put up an address to your party. You know he's taking all type of promotional bags. I wonder if he's good with his money. Oh, I don't think that's his. I don't think that's his site. Let's try this again. It's verified, but I don't think that's his site. Let's try Kodak. Yeah, it's not him. I don't know what's him. That's crazy. All right, we finna get into Kodak. I don't know what this is, but we finna get into it. Let's see. I'm just gonna have that the track up. So yeah, I should be able to see it now. I don't think Kodak Black is independent. I think that man just may not be selling. Kodak Black. I thought I talked about him at the beginning. NLE Chopper and there's somebody else. Was it not Kodak? Yeah, it was Kodak. I already talked about Kodak. What in the world? The Kid Leroy. Yeah, I talked about him already. No, I talked about 42 Doug, I think. Oh, I see. The same. Okay. NLE and Kodak was on the same track. That's why I got confused. Okay. But now I haven't talked about Kodak yet. Okay, cool. Let's get into Kodak. I've been killing this drink. That's crazy. Made a little green tea, you know, nothing too crazy. Green tea is great for the throat. Pause. But I've been killing it now. I may have to go to the bathroom. That's you know, how that work out. Not. All right. Let's get into Kodak Black. Now, from a quality standpoint, I gotta let y'all know that this man is singing his heart out. Now, I'm not saying that's a positive, but you can tell there was real emotion put behind the vocal cords that he was expressing over the 808s. Now, with all jokes aside, Kodak Black has a new track titled Ease Your Mind under Vulture Love LLC. Now, what does that mean? I have no idea. I'm not going to look it up because I've never heard of Vulture Love. So I'm just going to assume it's his own label because I ain't never heard of no Vulture Love. And now it's the first time I've ever seen something like this, and Kodak Black is attached to it. Do I think that's a coincidence? I do. I do not. I believe that this man is essentially independent currently because his latest release, which was Pistols and Pearls, that released in May 26, 2023, which was 1 hour and 6 minutes long, 21 songs, basically a full length project, was under Atlantic Recording Corporation. So with that being said, I feel like Pistols and Pearls completed his obligation for Atlantic Records. So now he's completely independent, as we see with Ease Your Mind being put out under the, well, not the major, but the independent tag Vulture Love LLC. That's really all I have for Kodak. Now we're going to get into my review because I actually listened to the track. And let me tell you, at first, I was like, man, cut this off. Ain't nobody listening to this. Ain't nobody trying to hear Kodak Black sing. If I want to hear an artist, a musician sing, I'm going to go to Chris Brown, a Brent Faiyaz, you know, shameless plug to him. He just put out an entire body of work. A Division. You get the point, right? But I ain't going to lie to you. The lyrics kept me engaged. The way that Kodak Black somehow, some way, makes you feel like he's the second coming of Tupac. The way he just put lyrics together, it's like he really means everything he says. And so me listening to the track is like, I know that this, in my mind, I'm saying to myself, this is horrendous vocal cords that I'm hearing right now, right? But the lyrical ability is on par with, these kind of sound crazy. It's on par with a Kendrick, is on par with a Drake. Like the things that Kodak Black be saying, I feel like he really be putting his real life emotions into the music, which me, as a music connoisseur, I immensely respect. I mean, my favorite artist is Drake, so you know that I like when my musicians are vulnerable in their music. And that doesn't have to be a good thing. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can just be whatever you're going through, which, you know, usually entails both of being good and bad. So for Kodak Black to speak his mind on this track the way that he did, it made me put aside the fact that this is some of the most atrocious vocal cords I've ever heard in my life. So yeah, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about my Kodak Black Ease Your Mind review? And also, if you've listened to the track, do you think it's fire or trash? Yeah, I just compared Kodak to Kendrick. I'm finna get some text about that. That's crazy. All right, let me see. Kodak being independent is interesting. Seems like there's no major labels in a rush to pick him up, or maybe he's not in the rush to be picked up. Kodak seems like he would be like a huge commodity. That's like that's like if Damian Lillard was on the free agency market and people was like, you know what, let's just let him sit there. No. You'd think a bag would be getting thrown his way. All right, we finna get into David Guetta. Yes, you heard me correctly, because this track is fire. That's the only reason I'm covering this. See Instagram. Some of these tracks I listened to, some of them I didn't, obviously, but trying to find David Guetta. Let me see, David Guetta. There we go. 10.4 million followers. All right. This track is such a vibe, man. It's coming this Friday. That's how my that's my publicist's voice, because ain't no way he wrote that. All right, let's get into David Guetta. I don't know if he's on Billboard. Let me see. David Guetta. I need to say how you spell his name. Yeah. Coil Ray, Kim Petras album charting, world tour, collab. Baby Don't Hurt Me by David Guetta, Coil Ray. 96 on the top 100. Okay, I see you, Coil Ray. Coil Ray's 5th entry on the charts. She says she buzzing out here. That's crazy. David Guetta. Is this a white man? I mean, you know, I ain't got nothing against white people. But I swear this is gonna be a Spanish artist. I ain't gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be a Latin producer. Producer of the Year by Brent. French producer. Guetta. I swore this was gonna be a Latin musician. Hey, but it does have Lil Durk on it, so let's cover it. All right. Let me see. All right, yeah, I should be able to see it now. I think. Yeah. I know what y'all thinking. Who in the world is this? Well, that is exactly what this segment is about. So I'm glad that you clicked on it. Basically, David Guetta is a DJ, a producer, and last but definitely not least, a musician slash artist. And two-time Grammy Award winner, 11 Grammy nominees. So basically, this man is highly credible when it comes to making music. And with over, I'm not gonna keep throwing numbers at you, Basically, this man's a great producer. That's all you need to know. Producer of the Year award is what he won at the Brits in recognition of his production success. So he is a French producer. That's another big tidbit. Um, very very credible, working with a lot of superstar musicians such as Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Justin Bieber. You get it, right? And in 2023, he had a hit. Oh, okay, I had this up on my own notes. So, "Baby Don't Hurt Me" by David Guetta, Annie Marie, Marie, I think it's Marie, and Coi Leray. Hey, you love to see Coi Leray pop into some tracks entering the charts. Is 96 on Billboard Top 100. Now that was back in May, so at this point, I'm not trying to hate. It's probably fell off the top 100. Not, it's just the natural progression of how tracks live. They either live or they die. And it seems like that one's probably off the top 100 by now. But anyways, it was Coi Leray's fifth entry on the charts. So that's something that he's adding to his accomplishments, as it's a notch on his belt. As he says here, "Baby Don't Hurt Me" arrived and was Spotify global #1 and streaming. I didn't even know that was a stat. And then I think that's basically it. So yeah, David Guetta has a new track out now titled Big Foo. Big Pho? I think it's Big Pho because it's like the cuss word, but this is a PG podcast, so I like that. So it's Big Pho. Let's just say that. I feel like I'm eating Chinese food. But anyways, David Guetta, Little Durk, and R Star. Is that the girl from Game of Thrones? No, I'm just playing. Let me chill. So, in all actuality, this track is fire. I know I've been beating around the bush, but I actually listened to the track and it's straight fire. Like the vibe, the tempo that they go with is a nice mix up of most of the hip hop that I'm used to hearing, because Little Durk comes on the track and you would think he would be the most out of place artist on this track. But in all actuality, it's a perfect mixture of the beat and Little Durk in a way that I had to add this to my playlist because I'm like, this is actually really fire. I guess he didn't get producer of the year for no reason, as him producing this track, he produced some fire. I love the way Lil Durk came on. Pause. I like the way that Arya Starr came on. I do feel like the combination of the three musicians on this particular track was felt, as it's not your usual tempo with 808s and hard hitting bass lines like you usually hear in hip hop. I can't describe it because I'm not as well versed in that area, but I will say it's definitely a different tempo that you're usually used to hearing with different rap songs. And the way that Little Durk comes on it, he really complements the track in a way that makes it stand out as one of the better tracks of 2023. Now, it's not in my top like 10, but it's definitely one of the better tracks in 2023, simply for the fact that they experimented with their sound and with having these artists on this sound, and it perfectly worked out. So with that being said, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about David Guetta as a producer, artist, musician, DJ? And what is your favorite track produced by him? Do 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 do. All right. Let me see. David Guetta. Okay, so that was the last one for that. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? All right, David Guetta, Jordan Lucas. We covered that. Maybe Youngboy. Yep. Bebe Rexha, Taylor Swift, Brent Faiyaz. Oh, Kodak Black was in the title. I've been trying to say the people in the title for last. That's crazy. Well, there goes that. No, I'm just playing. All right, so we're gonna get into Brent Faiyaz. We're gonna get into Bebe Rexha, and then we're gonna get into the one and only Taylor Swift. The 5 new songs ranked. They already got a rank for him 3 hours ago. Oh, it's how does it even work? Ain't no way they just ranked the songs as soon as they heard them. Huh. That's different. That's different. No, I ain't gonna lie. I really do gotta use this bathroom. I'm saying that like I gotta ask for y'all permission. I'm fighting through it, but it's getting the best of me, man. Somebody in chat right now saying TMI, TMI, man. Heart still beating. Let me see. Should I pull up Genius? Isn't Baby Rexa? Is that a woman? Hold up, Baby Rexa. Ah, that is. All right, so we're gonna pull up her Instagram. Yep. Mm-hmm. For review purposes, of course. One in a Million. Is that what it's called? I don't even think I looked up what it's called. With David Guetta. Hold up, man. Why in the world did I look this up? David Guetta. Baby Rexa. I don't see her. Why did I look her up? We might have to skip this one. I don't even see her. Yeah, I don't see her at all. What was I looking at? Nathan Daw? Like, did he drop? Oh, I see it. Nathan Daw, Heart Still Beating. That says One in a Million. That's not the track, I don't think. So which one's the track? Oh, is this her 4 weeks ago? 12 weeks ago? 32 weeks ago? All of those are pinned, because that makes sense. 4 hours ago, congratulations to my One in a Million. She's still not talking about her last track. So she don't care about this track. Dang, that's crazy. All right, so we're not covering it. I was only covering it because of Baby Rexa, and if she don't care about it, I don't care about it either. Like our artists don't care about the track when they're featured, and they don't even put it up on their socials. It's like, yeah, that was just a brown paper bag type feature. Like I didn't even know he was gonna put that out. That's crazy. All right, so let's get into Brent Faiyaz and Taylor Swift. The album's already out, so let's see if we can find something. To release. I may just talk about my personal takes on Brent Faiyaz because I ain't gonna lie. Like, I would say I'm a pretty big Brent Faiyaz fan. I mean, he gave me one of my favorite Drake verses of all time. So after that, like, it's just I'm a forever fan. Brent Faiyaz. 22.7. Oh, he's definitely under a major label. United Masters. Oh, that don't really. Is that how? United Masters. I think that's the major label that lets you own your own royalties. Forget his name. I think it's a black guy. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, all right, let's get into the album Larger Than Life. I feel like I should bring up some extra info. All right, but before I do that, I'll be right back. Definitely gotta use the bathroom. All right, I'm probably gonna play a beat so y'all not just listening to silence. But for my people over at Wisdom, I mean, if you want to listen to a beat, you can come over to Kick or YouTube because it's gonna be silence for a second while I go use the bathroom. So I'll be right back after I play this beat. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right, turn it off. So where we left off? Brent, Faiyaz, and Taylor Swift. All right, that works. Taylor Swift, 5 new songs ranked. Why are they ranking her album? How in the world does Taylor Swift re-release old songs and still sell this much? Talk about working smarter, not harder. That's crazy. For the people in the live chat, just letting y'all know, at some point I'm gonna talk about this. But so we was like the #1 Mass Effect podcast, I believe. Like I was like contacted by somebody. They was like, hey, we just want to let you know that you made our list of best Mass Effect podcasts. We would love if you would talk about it on our podcast. I was like, yeah, I didn't respond. I should have probably responded. That's messed up. But in my head, I responded, right? Does that count? I don't know. But yeah, I was probably gonna talk about it in my next episode, but just wanted to say that for the people tuning in live that we was ranked by, I forget the platform. But anyways, they had us #1 as the best Mass Effect podcast. I was like, dang, that's so nice. Felt like Meek Mandela, man. Used to pray for times like this, you know what I mean? To rhyme like this, talking to a mic like this. Nah, just playing. So yeah, that's all I had. Not too crazy. Can't let the best Mass Effect podcast get to my head, you know what I'm saying? Still a lot of work to do. And also, I'm still thinking about what I want to do for when I hit 2 million downloads. Cause I want to do something for y'all, but I also want to do something that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I guess both of them can go hand in hand, and that's where the thinking part comes in. It's like, dang, how do I celebrate 2 million downloads and also make something cool for y'all? I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, so that's all I wanted to say. We was voted the best Mass Effect podcast, so that's cool. I'll probably be talking about that in the upcoming episode, which I just beat Spider-Man. Obviously, no spoilers, of course. I'm not gonna give you spoilers, but I'm probably gonna talk about it in my next episode, and then I'll probably say the Mass Effect thing at the beginning because I think it's a pretty big deal when anybody recognizes the pie on especially a list. Like if they had an award show, like I'll pop up, you know what I'm saying, dressed to the nines. Feel me? They'd be like, "Oh, that's what he looks like." But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not too crazy. That's how I be. All right, that's it. That's all I got. All right, let's get into Brent Faiyaz at some point. I can't believe he dropped a whole album out of blue. That's actually kind of crazy. Brent Faiyaz, larger than life. Tim's intro. Last one left. Oh, he has Missy Elliott. Okay, okay. Coco Jones. I think he already had a moment for life at or out. I think if I just click it, it'll show me. Yeah, it already came out. Pistachios. Why is that the one that's trending? People went to the end of the album? How does that work? That literally makes no sense. What's the one? I think they're trying to promote Upset. Where is Upset? Upset is getting no traction. Okay. 10 viewers. Hmm. Is this man a major label? Hold up. Hold up. That can't be right. United. I mean, he is under United Masters, so they work a little differently. It's not really the typical format. How do I want to cover this? I think I may just talk about the facts. Should have titled it Pistachios, but that'd be weird. I'm not gonna title it that. I'm just gonna talk about the album. All right, let's go to his Instagram. Should have something here, hopefully. Brent Faiyaz. Larger than life, out now. That's all it was. Just an Instagram post. Maybe I'm tripping, but do artists not roll out anymore? It's just that's just out of the blue, huh? Out of the blue album, and he's just like, yeah, it's out now. I think he know he finna flop. Brent Faiyaz my guy, so this whole segment we just gonna be caping. I'm like, yeah, man, great music. What about the sales? Great music. You feel me? Like, I really think it's gonna be great, music wise. Yeah. All right, let's get into Brent Faiyaz. Pull this over here. Okay. All right. You know, at first, I thought this album came out of the blue because I don't know if y'all know. I don't know if y'all know that I know that you don't know that Brent Faiyaz gave me one of my favorite Drake verses of all time. Pun intended, because it's titled "Wasting Time." All right, I'm gonna be all day. I'm gonna be here all day. You know what I mean? Got CDs and anyways. Brent Faiyaz, right? Released the album titled "Larger Than Life." Moment of your life, where you at, and there's another track. Oh, I think that was it. Anyways, he had 2 singles put out before this album. I'm thinking that this album, quality-wise, will be above the normal threshold of R&B. That's the type of tier I had Brent Faiyaz in. When he drops an album, I pay attention because he consistently gives us great R&B material. I didn't want to talk about this, but especially after covering Offset, I'll be remiss not to bring this up. I'll be interested to see what his first week album sales are, simply for the fact that I don't know how and why, but the same label that he put Wasteland through is not the same as this album, Larger Than Life. So if you don't know, he's partnered with United Masters to put out this album. I say partner because I believe United Masters it goes about the collaboration process a little differently than most major labels. Most major labels give you a front, marketing dollars everywhere, or not. Sometimes it's just, pretty bad. But anyways, for the most part, they really showcase you being larger than life to the public. And turn, they try to recoup what they gave to you as a front, right? United Masters, from what I've been told, is from a certain standpoint of you get to keep a certain portion of, I think it's either masters or royalties, or one of those that major labels just do not do. Like if you sign to them, you giving away your stuff for the long haul, right? So United Masters is more of a partnership than other major labels. I could be incorrect, but I literally think I saw an interview with the owner of United Masters talking about how they was trying to sign NBA YoungBoy by giving him 30% of the entire label. Just to put in perspective, United Music Group, well, not United, Universal Music Group, Sony, Warner, none of them are giving you any type of percentage to sign on to the major label. Like you can invest in some stock. you're not getting no portion, no percentage of any major label when it comes to that. even if you're Drake. I mean, you hear what Drake say talking about at the end of his album, who's the CEO of Universal. His people say it's Lucian, but that don't really make sense. And talking about record breaking even without vinyls. Like he's really talking his talk as far as like selling out so much and still feeling like he's not getting the respect, even though he had reportedly, $500 million deal. But that's besides the point. So basically, all I'm saying is Brent Faiyaz under United Masters does not necessarily mean that it's a slam dunk when it comes to public perception. He's still in control of his destiny, and I'm not going to say he's completely independent because that would be incorrect. He's signed to United Masters, but like I just laid out, the United Masters partnership is vastly different from a Universal Music Group, a Sony, and a Warner. So yeah, that's what kind of I want to talk about, because he also, let me see, he was also under Wasteland, Lost Kids LLC. I don't even know what that is. So I feel like he's been independent. So him joining United Masters, he's technically still independent. He just has a couple more marketing dollars. But I'm not gonna keep beating a dead horse, but it's just totally different than being under a normal major label. So that being said, I did want to get into the overall or the overview of the album. So it's 14 tracks, 36 minutes, 20 seconds, right? I see Babyface Ray on here. I see a bunch of ASAP rappers on here, spanning from Rocky to Ant. I see Coco Jones on here. That track, I think, has the potential to go. If you don't know about Coco Jones, hey, you missing out. Let me just say that. I always say women are way better at R&B than men, and that's just a fact. So let's keep going. Missy Elliott and Little Gray. Anyways, I think this album's gonna be fire. I can't wait to dive into it. Brent Faiyaz, like I keep saying, gave me one of my favorite Drake verses of all time, and wasting time, pun intended. And for that, I will be a forever fan. So yeah, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know one of my social medias. What do you think about Brent Faiyaz and his latest album titled Larger Than Life? Will you be giving it a listen? And if you have, what is your favorite track off of Larger Than Life by Brent Faiyaz? All right, let's get into Mr. Swift. Let's swiftly get into Swift. All right, I left myself. My fault. I said I was gonna stop. I was gonna start with the dad jokes. I just said another one. All right, I ain't even a dad. I mean, from what I know, not. I'm just, all right, all right. Let's keep going. Um, Taylor Swift, 1989 re-release. I mean, technically, I already covered Taylor Swift. Should I even cover her? I ain't gonna lie to you. If you don't know, I already put out my coverage of Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, one of those artists where you gotta get your stuff out with her early. You know what I mean? You gotta get your stuff out with her, like early before game time. You gotta finish. You know what I'm saying? On some Travis Kelce type beat. But I think for this one, it's gonna be a lot of breaking down what people could look forward to in this album. Let's do that. Um, where is this at? If you could bring up Genius, that would be fantastic. No, no, I want Taylor's version, please. Ah, finally. You know what I mean? They don't call you Genius for no reason. All right, 1989 Taylor's version. Track number one, track number two. Goodness gracious, 21 tracks. Hey, at least it ain't 40. This Love, okay. Wildest Dreams, okay. Blank Spaces on this album? That's how you know I don't be listening to Taylor Swift. Isn't that like a classic? Shake It Off. I know that's a classic. I know how that go. Bad Blood, another classic. But the one featuring Kendrick is a classic because I'm biased. You Are in Love, New Romantics. She has a track title Slut. So you already covered all these really. Now That We Don't Talk. Dang. Covered Suburban Legends. Is it over now? I love when artists put like at the end of the album something like "Is it over? See you next time." Like what Travis Scott did with his album, put in a sample "Where Will We Go Now?" that we're done with you. I love those type of endings to an album because it's like, dang, you really put me through an experience, and now I gotta go listen to some other artists' trash music. Mm. All right, so let's do Is It Over Now? Say Don't Go, and then Now That We Don't Talk. I think that should work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think these are the new tracks. I'm tripping. Yeah, these are the new tracks. Hmm. Perfect. Okay. I was wondering which 5 tracks I was talking about. When you don't listen to a certain artist and they come out with a deluxe, it's kind of hard to figure out what the new tracks are. But it lays it out right here. Perfect. Um, I think she missed a perfect opportunity to have a rapper remix Bad Blood again. It was rumored to be Nicki, I believe, but I don't know why it didn't happen. Speaking of Nicki Minaj, I see what she did to Kai Cenat on stream. I don't think that was for play. I think she was serious. Told him to sit down and everything. I was like, dang, she's talking to him like a little kid. I mean, the media doesn't have the greatest relationship with Nicki Minaj. She is known as I think what they said, a hole. Yeah, let's just put it like that. She's not a very nice person from multiple media sites. Like at first, you could be like, well, that's just their encounter. Like, nah, most of them, like even Joe Budden, he has like a great relationship with Nicki Minaj. Y'all seen what she did to him? Cussed him out on her own podcast for no reason. She was like, cut his mic. Like she was going crazy. And apparently they just take it because it's Nicki Minaj. I'm like, dang, no self respect. I don't care what type of numbers you bringing in. I can't do it. But then she did do Joe Budden's podcast right after, so it was like, dang, type of abusive relationship is this? Uh, I wish Genius had a non-ads version. Like I would pay for that. Cause at this point I can't be just showing brands like that. Yeah, I don't think they have one. They don't show it. Feature charts. They don't show it. Wait, they have a charts section? Dang. The more you know. I had no idea they had a charts section. Huh. Look at Drake. Still up there in the top 20. Go. Let me see. Is it over now? All right, let's try this. We're gonna take that. Let's see. Sean Scanlon said Atlantic City, New Jersey in the house. Is that right? I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of slow. I don't know what the NJ stands for, but I appreciate you being in chat and typing and taking time out of your day to watch this new music review. But technically, at the end, we're about to get into the king, well, the queen of pop at this point, and Taylor Swift and cover a lot of her tracks. So, let me see. He said, "Yup." Oh, okay, great. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like I'm not in college for no reason. You know what I mean? At least I knew that. You know what I mean? Alrighty, let me see. Is it over now? I want to do Taylor Swift, but the Genius site just has so many ads. I mean, like, goodness, how am I gonna put that up? Let's just go to her Instagram. Let's do that. I may have to title it after, because I'm not gonna know which track I'm talking about. Taylor Swift. Taylor. Bro. 274. 274? Hold up, let me go to Drake. I always wonder, y'all think Drake would have more followers if he actually had Drake as his Instagram title? I think so. Like, who's trying to type in champagne? You know, like, nobody's gonna remember that. I think he hurt himself with that. Like, he has to. I know. Let me see if somebody has that account, because now I'm curious. There's just no way you're telling me that Drake would not want his own name as his Instagram account. One of the more prominent promotional engines. Let's see, Drake. Oh, okay. You have Drake Bell. You have Drake with 2 E's, but there's really no Drake. Like, just Drake. It's weird. It's Drake's phone, Drake related. I mean, technically, he does promote Drake related. Anyways, we're talking about Taylor Swift. I compare Taylor Swift to Drake all the time because, like, it's like the only artist who is like actually beating my GOAT in every statistic. It's kind of upsetting. It's like if LeBron had like an actual basketball player better than him. You know how everybody says MJ, but you know, it's whatever. Let's get into Taylor Swift. I keep saying that, but I'm trying to find a cover to talk about it over. Let's just keep doing this cover. I think that'll work. Can I just join this whole thing over here? I don't think it works like that. Oh my goodness, it's taking so long. Okay. A 1, a 2, a 3. How many licks does it take to get to this Taylor Swift review? The world may never know. All right, there we go. We're gonna start with "Is It Over Now" by Taylor Swift. For my people over at Kick and YouTube, y'all should be able to see the screen now. Yeah, I should be able to see the screen now. All right, so let's get into Taylor Swift and some of the tracks from her deluxe edition. So, ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Swift then released 1989 Taylor's version, which includes bonus tracks from the original 1989 album. Now, the reason why I'm covering this in the way I am and the manner I am is because at this point in time, I think this year will go down as one of the biggest, impactful, one of the biggest years for one particular artist when it comes to impacting the culture. I mean, the US government came out themselves and said that because of Taylor Swift going on tour, the US economy has been boosted by a certain percent. I don't know what the exact number was, but even 2 to 3%, it was way higher than that. But basically, Taylor Swift impacting the US economy simply by going on tour should let you know what type of star power and what tier she is when it comes to these other musicians, right? So yes, we are going to spend time covering her re-releases from an album that came out in 2014. So with that being said, we're specifically talking about, for this segment, Is It Over Now, which is the last track off of Taylor's version. I'm not gonna keep saying the title. Like y'all know the album title, right? So with that being said, I do want to focus on something. So Is It Over Now is the last track off of the album, but for some reason, it seems like it has more views than any other track off of the track listing. Now, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but if this is one of the vault tracks, shouldn't every track get the same consumption as each? I mean, the classics off of each album is going to outstream the other tracks, but for the last track of the album to outstream or to have more engagement than any other track off of the track listing is very interesting, as Taylor Swift and her team seems to be focusing on, let me see, slut exclamation point. Literally, that's what they that's what they titled it, right? I ain't calling Taylor Swift one, but hey, if they titled the track that, I just got to be respectful and say what they said for the track title. So basically, they have chosen slut to market during this rollout of 1989 Taylor's version. What I'm thinking is, y'all all know that she's currently with Travis Kelce. I do believe at some point in time, NFL will want Taylor Swift to do the Super Bowl halftime show. She reportedly, allegedly, turned it down for this year, like way earlier this year. Like they asked her, they asked Bad Bunny, and then they asked Usher, right? So with that being the main focus of marketing tactic with Taylor Swift being with Travis Kelce, because I guess you could say is real love or is true love. But come on now. So with that being a marketing tactic, being face value, what they say, trophy wife or whatever, for one of the best teams in the NFL. I think that's going to help her market for this album, as she's done touring, I believe. I think she at some point she's going to finish her tour. I think she's at the tail end of her tour. And they say that the bonus tracks share similarities to Taylor Swift's more recent album, such as Midnights, which was produced by Jack Antonoff. So I just want to leave you with this track at the end of the album, Is It Over Now? Question mark, is being consumed at a higher rate than any other track off of the album. And I find that very interesting, because are Swifties just going to the very end of the album, or is just something, I don't know, like it's a certain Easter egg they're looking for? Like, y'all let me know, right? I'm the one out of the loop when it comes to Taylor Swift and her fan base. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Taylor Swift and her 1989 Taylor's Version album, out now on all DSPs? And do you think that Taylor Swift is having the most impactful year a musician can have? Well, that's not really it. So we're not ending off on that. Basically, do y'all think Taylor Swift is having the most impactful year of all time when it comes to a musician? Okay. Yeah, that works. All right, let's get into Say Don't Go. What? I kind of want to break down the lyrics. That's what we're going to do. All right, let's get into the next segment. Say Don't Go is a very interesting phrase, because what in the world does that mean? Taylor Swift is basically saying that she would, quote, I would stay forever if you say don't go. So basically, she wants you to beg. She wants you to beg for it. And with that being out the way, I think we have to acknowledge that 21 tracks for a re-release album is very interesting, because of course she has new tracks. Well, not new, but her most favorite, to quote her verbatim, quote, my most favorite re-record I've ever done, because the 5 from the vault tracks are so insane, period. I can't believe they were ever left behind, but not for long, exclamation point. Pre-order 1989 Taylor's Version on my site. So basically, she's just letting you know a little bit about her process when making this album. And Say Don't Go is one of those from the 5 vault tracks. Yeah, because it literally says from the vault. Interesting. I was wondering how to differentiate, because if you wasn't a Taylor Swift fan, right, which in this point is like not being a human. It's like, what's wrong with you? But for me, I haven't, listened to every single track from Taylor Swift. So I don't know the original tracks from the additions. So when I look at Say Don't Go from the vault, it's like, when I listen to it, will it sound vastly different from the re-records? I would think not. Imagine being a musician, re-recording your old music, and now the consumption rate is higher than when you previously released it in 2014. Crazy, right? So for Taylor Swift to be outselling every artist on planet Earth, putting out old music, just has to be discouraging for every musician to ever walk the face of the earth. Because imagine, right, spending your whole time trying to come up with some fire, in the studio, cooking up, thinking you're making the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then a lady comes along and it's like, you know what? I think I want to release some music from a decade ago. And it just outsells your music completely. Just blows it out the water, sells, goes on tour, boosts the US economy. And you're just looking at it like, dang, what am I doing wrong? That's currently where I feel like every musician is at currently, because you can't tell me there's not a superstar out there that's looking at this re-release and the numbers and saying, I wonder if I can do that too. And guess what? The answer for 99.9% of them is, it's a PG podcast. So we're just going to say, definitely no. So at the end of the day, that's really why I want to pinpoint. Of course, I'm touching on a variety of tracks from the album. I'm not covering every track like I did for Drake, because, it's my favorite artist. Taylor Swift, I do recognize she's the biggest artist in the world currently. So I do want to give her respect in her releasing her album by covering it. So, and that, well, with that being said, click my Linktree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about my Taylor Swift coverage so far? And I really do want to hear from a Swiftie with this, because sometimes certain fan bases text me things about the artist that I have no idea, right? Now I look it up and it's actually true. So what do you think about my Taylor Swift coverage, and what is something that you think I should highlight when giving my 1989 Taylor's version review? All right, last track from the Queen of Pop, and then this new music stream will be wrapped up. So now let's get into the last track. Now We Don't Talk. Track number 19. Water right there. Anyways, that felt weird. Okay, let's run this back. Where's this at? Track number 19, 1989, Taylor's version. All right. Last but definitely not least, we have to get into Now That We Don't Talk. And for the last one, I did a recap of what the title may mean. So I want to do the same for this track, because of course we're going to get into the overall happenings of this re-release and just how it's impacting the music industry. But first, we got to talk about the specific track. So produced by Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff, of course. And from what I've been told, not been told, from what I've read, this is basically outing out her significant other. I mean, she literally says, quote, "You went to a party. I heard from everybody. You part the crowd like the Red Sea. Don't even get me started. Did you get anxious though? On the way home, I guess I'll never know now that we don't talk." That's bars right there. That's bars. I mean, imagine, you know, catching a touchdown to win the game by 3 because it was a close game, but you still had to get a touchdown, to beat them, and get that text, right? You just look at your phone and it just says, "You parted the crowd like the Red Sea, but I wonder if you was anxious. But I guess we'll never know now that we don't talk." And then you just ghost them. Like, dang, she moving crazy. But anyways, of course, all jokes aside, this was from a re-record from 2014, so she's definitely not talking about Travis. But I do believe that with this re-release, she's going to showcase once again why she's the biggest artist on planet Earth. And I say planet Earth because for some reason, Elon Musk has this feature where it literally says if you tweet, it's from Earth. So I'm like, dang, can somebody tweet from Mars? But anyways, this album has bonus tracks. And from the bonus tracks, there are already reviews upon reviews about every single track. Now, for me, you could technically say this is a review, but what I would say personally, it's definitely not, because I haven't heard the album, haven't heard the bonus tracks. I'm basically just covering this from a factual standpoint, meaning that telling you where the re-releases came from is a 2014 album, and the bonus tracks share similarities with Swift's more recent album titled Midnight, produced by Jack Antonoff, and the album's vault tracks were written around the same time as 1989, but the production and arrangement reflects Swift's sound in 2022. And knowing this half the battle, you know, like G.I. Joe says. And then also, the songs have a sanguine? What in the world? I can't say that. A practical perspective on love and dating. So of course she's talking about relationship. And the music in these tracks has a mid-tempo focus on pleasure rather than sadness. That's more of a review. Taylor Swift. Oh, I do want to read this one because I have been seeing this man's name throughout all of these tracks. Taylor Swift emphasizes her collaboration with Jack Antonoff and a modern sound in this vault section. So interesting. All right, so they said that these tracks do not have obvious singles, but they create a cohesive and modern day addition to the 1989 album. So basically, Taylor Swift re-released or re-recorded an album from 2014, slapped 5 new songs on it, and people are going to listen to this like they ain't never heard it before. And do with that information what you will. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Taylor Swift re-releasing her 2014 album 1989 with her Taylor's version? And will you be giving it a listen? And if you have already, shout out to you. But what is your favorite track off of the album? All right. Did I title those? I don't think I did. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'd say I'm gonna title it every single time. I totally forget. I can't forget this time because editing those when I forgot the title. It's a pain in the you know what. So let me try to find this. Okay, so this one. Yeah, give me 1 second. Recently closed. Okay, so process of elimination. This one's Say Don't Go. How do I do that? I'm just doing it now because I'll definitely forget after the fact. Say Don't Go. This one is Now That We Don't Talk. And then this one was the next one. Is it Over Now? I think it's that one. All right, cool. Ah, great. Process of elimination. You love to see it. Okay. Shout out to the people coming in over at Wisdom. Um, you can catch this after the fact on my podcast, Notorious Mass Effect, of course, on all podcast platforms. And shout out to the people who's been supporting me week after week. At 1.9, almost at 2 million total downloads in just 10 months under the new hosting platform, Red Circle, for the podcast. So if you want to be a part of the masses, definitely click my link tree in my bio or just type in Notorious Mass Effect on whatever podcast you listen to. Also, I am active on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. What else? Something else. Oh yeah, I have other reviews other than these, right? Because this will be uploaded after the fact. But I already have new music reviews up now from the City Girls, Mike Will Made It, Kali Uchis, and many more for New Music Friday for October 20th. So definitely check those out. And any more shameless plugs? I think that's it. Appreciate Sean Scanlon for you know your input in the YouTube chat, I believe. Yeah, the YouTube chat. And I appreciate everybody who types in the chat because, you know, with me podcasting, I always say I'm a podcaster who streams. So anybody who tunes in live to catch the live rendition, obviously you don't have to, but you are here, so I appreciate you. And for people over at Wisdom, you know, sometimes you may not know that I do have a podcast outside of this. This is just a format I like to do to get or to have extra accessibility for any supporter wants to tune in live and maybe comment and I interact like I just did with Sean Scanlon, or if they join in as a guest on the Wisdom app and I can go back and forth and you can end up being on the podcast. So with that being said, shout out to my people over at Kick, shout out to my people over at YouTube, especially shout out to my people over at Wisdom, and until next time,